Language. To say this entire name. She is Katiuska Tahiri Herrand, but we call her the Renaissance woman. She is one of the fast-rising voices on the New York City spoken word scene. Her goal, to spark social transformation through the power and validity of words. Performing as the Renaissance woman, the title is meant to suggest a declaration of feminist ideals, new wave thoughts of revolution, and a new appreciation for the female experience. Please, for the first time as a feature here at the Inspired Word, put your hands together and welcome to the stage, the Renaissance woman.
Hi, everybody.
Hello!
Really use mics. I'm gonna try, so I guess everyone can hear me better, but I'm not a mic person. So yeah, I'm Katiuska Herrand. I'm super awkward. So, yeah, 21-year-old, turning 22 in June, student at Hunter College. Very active and radical, kind of, well, in my own sense, feminist. But I'm a humanist before all things. I believe in people and people deserving certain things, and I think that where we are right now, a lot of people aren't getting that. We're lacking, and it's a sad thing, but so that's usually where my mind is at. But then if it's not that, it's usually heartache, because I tend to get my heart broken often, because when you're a writer, you get so caught up in people, and I think sometimes I get more stuck on writing poems about people than loving them. So I write more than that. So it's gonna be 3 love poems. 2 are on the happier side than what I usually do. One is a favorite of mine, which is a breakup poem, and then I'm gonna do my take on a social piece. So the first one I'll do, I guess, is a social piece, and it has no title. She asked me to listen, asked me to open my ears like doors. She wanted me to hear her. To hear her in her whisper, she wanted me to know what she meant before she said it. To bend my body in the shapes her mouth would take when she would speak. She wanted me to know what it felt like to not be heard. To stand in an empty room and have your echo ignore you. She didn't want me to stand out. She wanted me to know what it felt like to be the sky and not the star. To have traveled so long and still be so far. She wanted me to know what it felt like to be everyone else. To get tripped up on racial divides and figure out you can't quite dig underneath color lines. She wanted me to know it was never about time. She said they don't listen to girls that match the color of street corners. Said they associate lies with the nose being too wide, and for some reason you can never wash off the appearance of crime. She said black was never in style and it was always the wrong size, and all the depictions of heaven are built in white, and our people resemble a sunset, not a sunrise. She asked me to listen. Asked me to hear the ratio of children crying to a mother's eyes, to trace along the lines of things that didn't go right, to understand that for her, this was every night. And someone somewhere needs to start the fight. So I stopped. So the next piece is, it's titled Saints Have Their Past, but it kind of took on a different title of the breakup poem, and it's actually the poem that got me my girlfriend back. So it worked to some extent, and it has a lot of views on YouTube thanks to Mike, the videographer. So, this is Saints Have Their Past. Sorry. The worst part of a breakup is learning to forget. Learning to forget the sound of the keyboard clicks as I typed in your number despite it being saved in my contacts, because I like to remember the important things. Learning to forget our favorite song and remembering to move the lamp because I sometimes confuse its shadow with yours when I dance alone. The worst part of a breakup is returning your things, because despite its absence, I still remember where they go. Admitting that this only meant something to me and that I now drown in these dreams alone. The worst part of a breakup is remembering. Remembering the way you touched my cheek when I cried, and how I never felt weak in your eyes, and the way your chest would heave twice before you fell asleep. And the first night I noticed that, and the panic that took over me as I Googled homeopathic remedies to cure you, because I wasn't ready to die. The worst part of a breakup is feeling like dying. Opening the window and considering the fall to be swift because this shit is killing me softly. Your mark, the marks on my back, that first night that makes me hate forever. The worst part of a breakup is a broken heart. Knowing there was something I liked because you weren't full of me, despite me being full to the scalp, it was kind of like you grew out of me, but I guess love wasn't enough to convince you of monogamy. The worst part of a breakup is the first morning after, when I can only leave a mark of one on a bed that once housed two, opening the shades and not seeing you. The worst part of a breakup is moving on and knowing that you have to. Understanding that karma didn't want me to have you, see. Before there were a few that I had misconstrued with the fabrics of the place I sleep, see. I thought life couldn't catch up with me. The worst part of a breakup is realizing you deserve this pain because someone out there felt this for you. That you had once turned someone's red blue and somewhere out there was a river cried for you. So I guess the worst part of a breakup is facing yourself and all of your broken pieces. Standing in the mirror, trying to remember what you looked like before you fell for the wrong one. The worst part of a breakup is being alone and without you. Recognizing the one shadow on the street to be me, dancing to the sound of my own beat. Did you know you were my song? That I wrote your name across prayer sheets, found religion in the kisses I sneaked. The worst part of a breakup is losing that part of me.